Hello, my name is Carx82 and welcome back to our GregTech New Horizons Season 2. I am just checking off more stuff from our to-do list. We've got Infinity Armor there and a few things that is a crazy complicated one. We got our optical SMDs. We don't have that yet. We got our purified water. I think I fixed liquid helium, didn't we? Yeah. So we got 900 liquid helium there. Pretty easy with the cryogenic freezer. And I think there's a couple of things on here. It's kind of more general. I'm like, maybe we'll do that. I do think we need fusion reactor Mark IV. The QFT, I think, is another thing we want. The DTPF, I think it's called. Some of these have very long names. So, question is, what do we want to do next? And I do think the Fusion Reactor 4 is next, although I keep thinking I want to get the Infinity Armor as well. Maybe we'll kind of work on... I'll work on parts of that as I go. A lot of the Infinity stuff is, unfortunately, well, not necessarily unfortunately, it does require all the different, like, magic mods. So I would have to spend quite a bit of time doing the magic kind of stuff. And the reason I don't particularly want to do that right now is because we're working on a whole bunch of magic stuff in our Divine Journey 2 playthrough, so that's kind of like, I've already kind of, I'm doing that elsewhere, automating our infusion and stuff. Optical, not optimal. Alright, so I did craft up the optical mainframe. We should get a ding. Yep, there we go. This did take quite a long time for one mainframe, so that's probably something we're going to have to do an advanced assembly line recipe for. But I don't know how many of these we're using right away. But yeah, so we are going to have to worry about that. All right, yeah, so I think we really need to get going with this. I did automate a lot of this stuff so we could looking at the recipes, I did automate a lot of this stuff so we could oh my goodness, I've totally just drawn a blank. The precise assembler stuff is what I'm trying to say. Also, I'm just noticing that it like wasn't loaded in. I hadn't been over here yet since I started the thing. All right. Yeah, so I think we should get going with this. Don't know if we have a recipe for... We don't, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and do that. I haven't even really looked at the recipe. I guess we'll do... I always wonder, I'm like, would optical be better than the other one? Let me just look this. So if I needed like 4 of those, does require a lot of cosmic neutronium. Does require a lot of infinity, I think. But it requires less other Yeah, it does require a bunch of infinity. We do it that way. Otherwise, we do the BioWare mainframes. That's like its own kind of thing. Yeah, that is probably quite a bit easier. Question is, do we want to change some of the items? Like, do we switch to easier SMDs? I don't know. I still haven't. I mean, we do have Xenoscene, but I'm not. It's not something I'm gonna have like unlimited of. I don't have it running permanently, which maybe I should do. Maybe I will switch these to. Oh, bio. Apparently, I didn't rename that recipe. Yeah, so maybe we'll... Oh, that's not... It's a different... Alright, that's a little bit more complicated, isn't it? I can't switch, unfortunately. I do have to... It looks like... That's... Now that I'm thinking about this, kind of... It's a little bit weird, because usually... It would be like two different recipes, because they're different items. They're not... I don't think they're... I don't think they are... oh my goodness. Or dictionary. So I don't think like 24 of those is like 24 of those. But I could be wrong. Who knows? Alright, so I think I'm going to do this. Let me get this thing going. And I don't think anything else on here is overly complicated. Astral titanium, maybe. Oh, octiron. We have that one, I know. Alright. Yeah, let me get this and we'll be right back. Alright. Yeah, I totally forgot that the bio recipes that use the wraps. So I just made 2 more wraps for the bio or the optical stuff. Well, that one doesn't show it, but if we look at these recipes, if you use the advanced SMDs, the recipe time is 240 seconds. If you use the optical ones, it's 30 seconds. So it is way, way faster. Just thought I would point that out. So I am going to switch over some of them, probably. I haven't looked at the wetware. That one, we don't use the SMDs in that. We use those, but this one, 180 seconds, 22 seconds. So probably worth it, especially if you are crafting up. Yeah, look at that. I mean, I know it's a tier up, so it's going to be overclocked less, but yeah, that is a pretty big jump. The assembly line recipe doesn't, unfortunately. But yeah, that is what it is. Okay, so yeah, I just thought I'd point that out. It does seem to be worth it for switching over some of these things. Great, not unexpected. This is pretty complicated to craft up. So we got the recipe. There is a few things I need to do recipes for that I don't have, namely this one. I don't have the 4 times base wire, so we'll just do that. I'm gonna have to throw another pattern in there. If I remember, I'll throw some in my thing. We also need to get a thing to scan, and that is, I should have just done that one. Pretty sure that's the compactor. Yeah. We need this item, hypervisor matrix. But to do that, you need 9 fusion control computers and a compressor. It's going to take a little while. It's not going to take as long because the multi-blocks are faster than the single blocks, but as you can see, it's almost 1,000 seconds. So I wanted to get that up. We have the bio... No, I think they are still, unless something's gone wrong, they just take a while to craft up. It does appear something has gone wrong. Why craft? I haven't changed anything. Oh. Right. I switched that over. Alright. I totally forgot about... Actually, we'll just do... I have some in my inventory. Yeah, I switched these over, of course. So, boom. Boom. It doesn't matter how many you need, because it's a stocking input bus. Alright. So, I was actually... A good idea. I left some of these in my... Is that... Did I mess up a recipe? I feel like I messed up one of the SMDs. Diode, resistor, transistor, inductor. Unless this... No. Alright, what did I do? We did something. Alright, this is... Yeah, switching these... Switching all these SMDs over is actually... It's a little bit... Yep, that's what I did. As you can see. Now, I don't... I should probably get it in the right... I was like, it probably doesn't matter since we're using stocking input buses, but I should probably make sure I put it in the right one. So it's that one. All right. So yeah, accidentally messed that up. Yeah, the assembly line ones, because it doesn't seem like I can shift click them in. I don't think... Right, so I guess we need 24 optical. I'm not gonna like pull these all out, put them back in the main system, and then redo it. I'll just add the SMDs. Yeah, I don't think there's any way I can hold shift to like pause it on the one I want, but if I shift click that into the AE, it doesn't seem to... It just does the generic one. All right, so yeah. I think we needed 24, right? Yep. And we had extra with that. So is that actually on now? All right, cool. Yeah, so I didn't realize I was actually stuck. That was my fault because I screwed that recipe up. All right, cool. So there is those. Now we need... This is going to be a little wrong because we don't need the mainframes, but I do need these tritium. So I was thinking you can pump this from a space elevator. But unfortunately, I think I have run out of pumps. I do have room for one more, actually. We have deuterium anywhere. Yeah, deuterium was kind of one I was wanting to get. And I was thinking maybe just throwing a... Thinking about maybe just throwing a thing on another giant... I don't know if this would actually work. I'm going to actually try this. So if I throw that to that and say this one's like methane, so I'm actually going to lock the methane, and then on this one we'll lock tritium. And if I just switch this, will fill that up? I actually don't know. Now I'm thinking about it, this might be a bit of an issue because the thing's on this hatch, but that hatch isn't emptying out. So I may actually just pump a bunch of this. We could also do tritium or deuterium and centrifuge it. But I think it would be better just to directly pump this. So planet 6, gas 2. And I'll just turn it off and send it back to methane, I think. Planet 6. Pump 2. Yeah. And then, does this work with multiple... Alright, it does seem to work with multiple output hatches, which is pretty cool. Alright, so I'm probably just going to fill that up to 100 million, because that's why I am kind of enjoying these giant output hatches. I was debating whether I should just do giant output hatches on everything. What is the methane? I want to switch it back. 5 and 9. Alright, I'm just going to... I'll leave it there. I'll leave... yeah, we don't use a ton of it. So, what was it? 9 and 5. I just want to switch it back, otherwise I might break something. But methane might... Didn't that... Or is it 5 and 9? Oh, planet 5. Gas 9. Alright, there we go. So, yeah, we'll just throw this fluid storage bus like that. And then we should get tritium on here. Alright, cool. And then I'll deal with that later. The pumps are pretty expensive. That's why I was just like, I don't feel like crafting up another pump right this second. Because you do need the infinite fluid, which is its own kind of thing. Alright, so tritium we are good on. Now the advanced coils, I haven't got these yet. They do require quite a few. Quite a few things. I'm almost wondering if it would be... Like, usually I do crystal mainframes. I'm like, would it be better just to do optical? I don't know. That just skips so many processes. Using the base processor over the mainframe, it just makes it so much cheaper. But I do need this Cenobite. So... Alright, I don't think I have that recipe. So let me, yeah, continue doing this stuff. I guess we'll do... It'll be astral titanium. In the plus furnace, that is a 0. Kind of rare you get blast furnace recipes with no circuit at all. And then that do this. And thankfully we have set up all our precision laser engravers just recently to deal with these quantum anomaly things, which I'm pretty sure I need to start thinking about crafting up more of these quantum anomalies. It doesn't get consumed in this recipe, but we are going to need lots of them later. So let me just make sure that works. It is running. How long is this? 17 seconds. Not the end of the world, but all right, cool. So we got that. Let me finish the rest. The Cenobite. Gadolinium is a bit annoying. Everything else is fine. The mercury in it's a bit of an annoying recipe. Now this one. Titan steel, energy crystal, black steel. Okay, we have all that stuff. Not a problem. And just finishing up the research that we need here for those. That wasn't too bad at all. It is kind of funny I'm saying crafting up 9 fusion reactors. Mark III is not bad at all. I'm running out of things. I probably can remove a lot of these data sticks. They were kind of like one of. But I'm just going to leave them in there. We have room. Okay, so I did get everything set up for the Cenobite and the other stuff. I had to make a few recipes. I ended up just, instead of doing a item and fluid with like a dual assembler, I ended up just crafting up a input hatch with a crafting card on it to keep this full of mercury. Kind of like what I did over here. Also, unfortunately, I really have... I screwed up the channeling and running the cables over here. It is so chaotic over here. So I couldn't put another one there because it's just, I would have to re-break all these things. So I threw it right in the front because I had room right there. Yeah, originally I was planning on doing dual assemblers. So if the recipe had items and a fluid, I would just pipe the items in and then the fluid out to another thing. But I've ended up just... I'm actually just noticing, I'm like... I'm using dual interfaces here, but these are just items. These don't actually need... These don't need to be dual interfaces. Man, the cabling under here is just god-awful. Let's just ignore it and pretend like it's sorted. So, yeah, we just keep the mercury stocked in there and then do that. The annoying thing is that each of the alloys require, like, different circuits. That's kind of the most annoying bit. So we have a mercury recipe and 2 alloy blast smelters, but they have a different circuit. So I would have to set up 2 different tools to handle the mercury, and it was just way easier doing that way. All right, moving on. I got the last bit that we need here is the fusion foils. Now I have 2 different versions of it. One using the crystal mainframes for UV circuits and one using optical. So I just kind of wanted to see which one I think is better. So that's the crystal processor mainframe. Fusion. So we are going to need 33 of these. But I just want to do the one here. Oh man, I ran out of room on thing. May just do... Oops. I know I could just put that in an item to get that, but I have these set to craft, so I can't just pull one out. If I pull all of them out, it crafts up more. That's why I usually do that. Yeah. I was like, oh, we don't use the superconductor recipe anymore. I will just switch it out. But you know what? It's silly. I need to just... Oops. I need to just add a another one somewhere. Figure out where I did the... Yeah. So this one, we're going to need more anywhere. Let's just do this over here. Just thinking, I'm like, do we need... Should I just use a dual? I don't think any of those recipes actually require... Like, none of these require a... Oh, they do. Some of them do. Yeah, these... Alright. So technically I could just do a regular interface, because none of these require... None of those require fluid, but these wraps do require a fluid. Alright. So once I get that, and then we'll check out... Yeah, I might... It's not hurting anything by using a dual interface. It's just a bit more expensive. Also, I didn't even really look. See what channels. 28. Alright, so we can have a couple more. Assembler. The other thing is, if I match them, I can put the same name and they show up together. I don't have to worry about putting in the correct one. Like if I put a new UEV recipe in here, it wouldn't matter because it's a dual. All right, so that. Let's do fusion. All right, so as you can see, it does add up quite a bit. So we need 16. We actually need 33 to build this whole thing. I just need to process some of that powder. I don't have it processed. So we're looking at 272 for so many frames. I haven't switched those out either. Oh, this one doesn't have a optical. Yeah, that one actually doesn't have an optical recipe. All right. Or if I switch this, I have a feeling it would be better to do that route, the crystal. Oh, I don't know. I think it would be a bit more efficient when we get better these memory things, because they are pretty low. I don't know. You know what? Let's just do it that way. It's more difficult recipes, but less resources, like those SMDs. Like, what did we need? Like 33,000 of those before? How many of these are... This is just one. All right. Now that I'm thinking about it, I might change my mind when I'm actually crafting up all 33. All right, for the first one, yeah, these memory thingies, because we only get 2. But once we upgrade it, like if we can get 32 from one recipe, I think it would be like much better. Although that does require a superconductor RAM. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we decide. I think it probably is better just to do that one. Okay, let me get to this fusion thing crafted up. Thankfully, these are much easier. So as you can see, this is why I upgraded the component assembly line before I started doing some of these recipes with the UHV components. I think it is, yeah, I think it's worth upgrading that before you start doing that. Okay, let me get that crafted up, and then I think that's everything for the fusion reactor, I think. that everything? Yeah, we just need to craft that up. And we'll see. Okay, I have gone ahead, got the advanced fusion coil, and I've started crafting up the next part. There were a couple little things here and there that I needed to sort out. One was a Laphium. I don't remember which part. One of the parts required Laphium. I think it was one of the SMDs. And I just, again, switched it. It's one of those recipes that requires a fluid and items. So I just threw another input hatch on the blast smelter to keep argon gas in stock. There are, as you can see, 3 different recipes. So yeah, I figure if we keep that in stock, be good. I haven't actually looked, and there's 250 recipes. Although I wouldn't really call that. I usually smelt these just in the blast furnace. But I don't know. I haven't gone through and like figured out every single, like, I'm pretty sure we don't have liquid sodium in there. And like thorium tetrafluoride. Well, I don't think we're ever going to need that. We could be wrong. Maybe we'll need that. But I think we got the vast majority of things that we need in there. Like I did say, I didn't make different things. So these are going to stack when they puts the thing in there. I don't think we're going to be crafting up another fusion reactor Mark IV, at least for a few episodes. So I didn't bother. I'll just manually move that. So I think we are good here to get to this. I just need to make sure everything works correctly. It should, I think. If that's working. Let me just double check the alloy is running. Yep, that is running as well. They are longer recipes, so that is why it looked like it was stuck, but it's actually not. Although, yeah, that might take a few. Gonna take a few minutes. If that is just 576 of that. And that is running as well. Yeah, everything's working. Yeah, these longer recipes start getting long again. These, not longer. The more complex recipes definitely require more time until you can get that graded. We are at 256 amps. So it's not going to get a whole lot faster. We'd have to craft more of those. Okay, let me get this crafted up, and should be good for at least the controller today. So it should start when I throw that in there, hopefully. Yes, there we go. All right, cool. It takes a second to sort itself out, but yes, there we go. 150 seconds. There is our fusion Mark IV reactor. Now, obviously, we need to get the casings for this. I actually don't have those casings. Ooh, these are their own little things, although those are pretty low tier. Those are low tier circuits, so that's not bad. All right, I do need to send that through. Got all the scanning that needs to be done. So I will continue getting all this stuff up. Also, that astral titanium, that's a slow recipe. I didn't realize how slow it was. 562 seconds for UHV. So that's actually a pretty slow recipe. But I don't know how much we're actually going to be doing it at this point. Plasma. Oh, we're going to need it for that. We're going to need it for that. Yeah, so we got that. We're going to need it for this, but it looks like that it looks like we're not going to need a whole bunch of it once we get this reactor up and running. Oh, that was quick. All right, cool. So like I said, I'm going to get this up and running. We'll figure out where we're going to put it. While I was doing the other stuff, I actually set up recipes to craft europium. So most of this is no longer in use. I've switched all this over to auto crafting on the compact fusion reactor. I'm just letting this neodymium work its way through the thing here, and from now on we will just craft it because it is super quick. Like I could do 4,000 and this would be done in seconds on that compact fusion reactor. But anyway, that's gonna be it for today. So thanks for watching and have a good one.